just set up a little bit here. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I'll move you back a little bit. Okay, Bismillah. So you've come to see me today? I am actually mic'd up, aren't I? I am connected. Bismillah. So you comes to hang out today? I'll let you guys turn up for a few minutes before we start anything. Yeah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم. Wait for some people to arrive. Hopefully we'll have at least a few of you, especially as we're giving that away. Yes, today it will be fairly open. Anybody can win that. Oh, Bismillah. It'll be fairly open today. There isn't a specific competition or anything. I thought for this first giveaway we would allow anybody to win this, but we are going to go live over the next 4 days. Our one on Saturday will be in the afternoon probably, rather than in the evening like this. But we will have a live plus a giveaway for the next 4 days, inshallah. So today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday. So I've got some books and things like that we can give away. But today we're going to start with this one. Cool. We'll wait for some people to turn up, and then we will get into it. Bismillah. I've also uploaded a video to my Somali channel as well, so I might keep an eye on that because the topic is a little bit controversial. So yes, we will keep an eye on it, inshallah. Just got a like on the video with no viewers. That's very strange. But if there is anybody here, maybe there's just an issue with YouTube, let me know. If there's anybody here and you can hear me okay, give me a thumbs up. I'll actually get it up on here as well, because sometimes I can't see the chat in here. Wa alaikum assalam. Cool, we've got somebody. Thank you very much. Please like the video, those of you guys who are here. I'm also going to get the live stream up on my laptop as well, so that I can see your questions and stuff, because sometimes I feel like my phone's a little bit far away. 3 of you here. Cool, thank you very much for coming to join me this evening. Assalamu alaikum, you guys. How you doing? We'll get into it in a couple of minutes. I usually leave it for about 5 minutes before we actually get into the content. So what I'll do is I'll do a little lesson on the ayah which this comes from. Most Muslims, even if they haven't studied Arabic very much before, they've probably come across the expression kun fayakun. But maybe don't know the grammar behind it, maybe don't know where it's actually found in the Quran. So I'll talk about that a little bit, inshallah, and we'll bring some benefits out from it. And yeah, then we'll open up for Q&A. And yeah, and at some point we shall announce a giveaway of this one. Perhaps we'll do a giveaway for the person who asks the best question, or perhaps I'll just pick randomly someone from the chat maybe. Yeah, I'll have a think about that. But today it's fairly open. I will refine the rules a little bit for later live streams that we do. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to do a live stream today, tomorrow, Friday and Saturday. So 4 days in a row. I've got loads of stuff to give away. I'm going to give away some books. And we're going to do something. I'm not quite sure what we'll do yet, but I would like to do a giveaway of the original lesson maps when I taught the Arabic in 60 Steps program. So in the video, you can see me writing out the notes and everything, and I've got those big sheets of notes. I've got the originals, and we'll do a giveaway of them or something. I'm not quite sure what we'll do, but I think it's only students on the 60 Steps program who'll care about that. Yeah, I don't think it's you, broader YouTube community, that will care too much about that. So yeah, let's get into it. Alhamdulillah. Okay, who else is here? We had 7 of you a second ago, now only 3. Yeah, so what we'll do is I'll talk a little bit. We'll do a little Arabic lesson on the ayah, or the part of an ayah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says a number of times in the Quran, فَإِنَّمَا يَقُولُ لَهُ كُن فَيَكُونُ. I'll talk about that a little bit, we'll do some grammar. And we'll open up to Q&A, and then at the end I'll give that away to somebody. Yeah, the designer of that is actually an artist who we've had on the YouTube channel before. Our sister Amina Sabir. I can move that forward a little bit actually. I think you can still see it. Cool, we'll give that away. And yes, I've had that for a long time actually. I gave away some of her artwork before, but yeah, so I've had that for a little while because that one wasn't won before, so I've had that for a little while. So I thought now be a good opportunity for us to give it to, let it go to a loving home, inshallah. Okay, good. I've been here for just over 5 minutes. We have 7 of you in here, but we don't have 7 likes, so please like the video for me, inshallah. And without further ado, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We will get into this. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran a number of times, but there are 2 in particular that I'll draw your attention to. What Allah says, فَإِنَّمَا يَقُولُ لَهُ كُن فَيَكُونُ. He says it in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 117, and also says it in Surah Maryam, ayah 35. The exact same wording in those times. So he says, فَإِنَّمَا. There are 3 things going on at this beginning part with the فَإِنَّمَا. We have a fa, which usually means so, but is often used to start sentences. Inna, meaning certainly or verily or something like that, and then the ma. Ma means lots of things. Yes, but in this case maybe we translate it as that or something like that. So verily that, yaqulu. Yaqulu is the present tense of the verb qala. Qala is the most common verb in the Quran by far, used 1,600 and I believe 18 times in the Quran, so it's by far the winner. Like the runner-up, kana, is used 1,358. I haven't looked at the list in a long time, but I think it's about that. So qala is used many more times than kana, and even more than any of the runners-up after that. I mean, I think it's in the hundreds, the most common verbs in the Quran after that. So qala is very, very useful. You'll notice there is a big change in the verb from qala in the past tense to yaqulu in the present tense. That is the nature of hollow verbs, that the alif in the middle of hollow verbs, so qala, kana, ja'a, sha'a, they will change from an alif. The alif is really a disguise for what its real root letter is. It's because alif cannot be a root letter, actually. So alif is more of a disguise for what its real root letter is. And its real root letter will either be waw or ya. So that waw or ya will manifest itself in the present tense. So what we have with qala, its root letters are really qaf, waw and lam. Hence the word qawl, meaning a statement, a qawl. Yes, yaqulu, he says. Good. Yaqulu. However, hollow verbs are not always such that the alif in the middle is a disguise for the waw. Sometimes it's a ya. So for example, the verb ja'a, meaning he came, the present tense is not yaju'u, it's yaji'u. And with the verb sha'a, it's not yashu'u, it's yashi'u. So yeah, so sha'a and ja'a and sara, yasiru. There are many verbs which take a ya in the middle. Ba'a, yabi'u. How do you know whether qala would become yaqulu or yaqilu? How would you know? You don't. You learn them on a verb-by-verb basis. Excellent. But there are some examples, like the one I just mentioned, qala, which can be both. However, it has a different meaning. If it's qala yaqilu, it means to have a siesta, have an afternoon nap. Hence the word qaylula, which means an afternoon nap. Good. Yes, which also means that the word qa'il, the active participle, it can mean both a sleeper, as in someone who's having a nap in the afternoon, or it can mean a sayer. As Allah says in the Quran in Surah Yusuf, قَالَ قَائِلٌ مِّنْهُمْ لَا تَقْتُلُوا Yusuf. A sayer from among them said, do not kill Yusuf. And there's another ayah in Surah Al-A'raf, I think, maybe. I can't remember the exact ayah, but it's one of the earlier bigger surah of the Quran. There's the part at the end of an ayah, وَهُمْ قَائِلُونَ, and they were not sayers, but they were sleeping. Yes, the word qa'il can mean both. So what do we have? فَإِنَّمَا يَقُولُ. So verily he says. This innama actually as well is a useful one because it removes one of the things that inna does. Often what we learn in step 19 of the Arabic in 60 Steps program is that inna will make the word that comes after it, or the word that it governs, mansoob. So for example, if we'd say indeed the man is strong, we'd say inna rajula qawiyyun. So we'd have a fatha on the end of ar-rajula. Inna Allaha sami'un basir. Indeed Allah is all hearing and all seeing. inna nabiyya karimun. Indeed, the Prophet is noble, right? We have a fatha on the word that comes after. But when we have the ma, we remove that function of the word of inna. Hence the hadith that comes at the beginning of many of the big books of hadith, where the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Innamal a'malu binniyat." He says, verily the actions, the a'mal, are binniyat. They are by their intentions. So, but it's not innamal a'mala. If it was without the ma, it'd be innal a'mala. But it's not. It's innamal a'malu, because the ma in there removes the inna's usual role of doing mansub to the thing that comes after it. But that's not the case here, because we actually have a verb after it. We have فَإِنَّمَا يَقُولُ. So verily, that he says, lahu. He says to it, or to him, right? Verily he says to it. If Allah wills, verily he says to it. Good, but the hu is a masculine pronoun, right? Yes. Kun. He says to it, kun. Kun is the fi'l amr, is the imperative verb from the verb kana. So kana, as I mentioned earlier, is the second most commonly used verb in the Quran. Qala and kana way ahead of the others. Kana being used over 1,350 times in the Quran. Kana, its imperative is kun. So with that in mind, what do you think the imperative of qala is? Put it in the comments. What's the imperative of qala? If kana becomes kun, qala becomes... See if anybody sticks it in the comments. We've got a few of you here in the class. We have a question. Good. Okay, we have a correct answer, mashallah. If kana, the verb to be, is imperative when we say be is kun, then qala is imperative when we say is qul. For example, we have the four quls, don't we? Have the famous four quls that we teach our children, where we have قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ, and the earlier one, قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ. Good. So, kun, be, he says to it, be. So what happens? Fa yakunu. So it is. He says be, so it is. So we actually have yaqulu earlier in this part of the passage, and then we have yakunu later. So through the practice that we've done through this short little lesson, we've learnt the progression of a hollow verb from past tense to present tense and to imperative. It's actually the only three kinds of verbs that there are in Arabic, as per Al-Ajurumiyya, talking about which lays out the three types of verbs that there are. Yes, there are three types in the Arabic language. Any verb that you will ever see in the whole of the Arabic language will either be fi'l madi, or past tense, like qala and kana. They will either be mudari', or that usually means present tense, but not always. For example, yaqulu or yakunu, or they will be a fi'l amr, or they will be an imperative verb. For example, kun, and as you guys correctly said, qul. Good, be or say. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so that is an ayah. We have a good section of that ayah. We have the most kind of iconic bit on here. So we have, from this side, we have kun. You have a kaf and a noon and kun. You don't have the harakat in this piece, right? You have kun, then you have your little fa in here, fa, ya with the two little dots underneath, kun, kun fayakun. So, thank you very much, our dear calligraphy artist Amina Sabir. She's a very talented sister, mashallah. And yeah, we have this as one of her pieces of work, which I'm going to give away for free to somebody here. We're going to spend about, I don't know, I'll be here for another half an hour or something. I'll answer your questions about learning Arabic or anything you want to talk about. And at the end of it, I shall give this away to somebody at random, I think, or yeah, we'll give it away at random. If the live streams were more popular at the moment, I would like to maybe give it away to the person with the biggest super chat or something like that, because we do need to do something on this channel to raise some more funds, inshallah, for new lighting, for new equipment and things like that. So so something I'd like to announce actually is I would like to start a membership. You might have seen many YouTube channels have memberships now. It's a bit bigger YouTube channels, it's really standard, but they have memberships now, and I would like to start one for maybe £1.99 a month. For people who want to be part of it, you get cool little badges next to your name in the comment section and stuff like that. And we can think of some of the benefits that we could give you guys, just to be closer to the YouTube channel and stuff. We'd use that money for equipment and things like that, because, you know, any of you who have tried to run a YouTube channel or anything before, they are expensive to run well, and they're very, very time-consuming to plan and put videos together. So yeah, that's something that we're thinking about. But I'm not sure how that will tie into to these lives just yet. I mean, at the moment, I'm just helping you guys out with learning Arabic. You can ask me any questions that you want to, and at the end of it, I'll just give that to somebody. But we'll figure out how we'll do super chats or how we'll do subscriptions and stuff like that over the next few days. Good. Okay, so I'm all yours. Do you have any questions? أي سؤال? Any questions? I'll let you guys have a think. If there's anything you'd like to ask me about learning Arabic and the like. And I also need to check on one of my other channels as well, in case I've upset anybody with a recent video. Yes, so 5 o'clock I scheduled a video to go out on my Somali channel. Yes, you can see it here at the top, this one. We are not extremists at the top. And I hope I don't upset anybody with that. It's not really about, it doesn't have anything to do with extremism, obviously. I'm not an idiot. But yeah, it's just a Somali language lesson about saying we, because there's two different we's in the Somali language. There's one for saying we including the person you're speaking to, and we excluding the person you're speaking to. And I found this little clip in this debate between Sheikh Asrar Rashid and Ustad Abdul Rahman Hassan, where Sheikh Asrar Rashid says, "We are not," and then he mentions two extremist groups that I don't want to say because I'll have my YouTube channel banned. He says, "We are not those," and Ustad Abdul Rahman Hassan, who's a Somali, he didn't know whether Sheikh Asrar Rashid meant including him or not including him, and I thought it was interesting because maybe Ustad Abdul Rahman Hassan, maybe his Somali brain thought there was a lacking in the English language, is the clarity in that, because Somali has a clarity in that. Yes, but if you want them to know the details of that, you can go to the video. It's only a 2-minute video. Yes, youtube.com/Sam of Somalia TV. Okay, so there's a question about Nat. Yeah, I don't really know. That doesn't really interest me. I don't have a good answer for that, or teaching or explaining that, really. That's something that I didn't even learn about until my 3rd year of my degree when I went to Palestine. Yeah, sorry, I don't have a good answer for you. Using that terminology. That's not a terminology that I use in my teaching or I'm familiar with. So sorry, Salman, I don't have a good answer for you or a good way of delivering using that terminology. Is there anything else? Thank you guys for liking the video, by the way. We have more likes than we do viewers at the moment, so we've had a few guys, but a bit of a transient audience come in and dip out. But nothing wrong with that sometimes. Who wants this, by the way? Who wants me to send this to you for free? If you want it, just put me in the comment section, so I know who I'm kind of picking from. And if we don't have like a clear winner at the moment, if our audience who are here at the moment, there's only a few of you, if you're like, look, that's cool, but it doesn't really fit in my house, we'll do a rollover until tomorrow. And oh, good. Oh, we do have someone saying Anna. Very nice. Good. I'll show you some other stuff I'm going to give away. Actually, I have some books. I'm going to give away a copy of the Arabic language today. I'm going to give that away this week. I'm going to give away a copy of Al-Ajurumiyya. I'm going to give away a copy of the Matan of Al-Ajurumiyya. What else have we got? I'm going to give away a travel bundle. So I'm going to talk about my experience studying Arabic in Palestine versus in Egypt. And I'm going to give away these travel books for the Middle East. I'm going to give one away for Palestine, one for Egypt, and one for the Middle East in general. We'll do those as a bundle one day. And we'll tie it into me doing a video on my experiences studying in those countries. So we're going to give those books away. We're going to give away a Matan of Al-Ajurumiyya. We're going to give away a copy of the Arabic language today. Let me see, what else have we got? Yeah, I'm going to give away my copy of Teach Yourself Arabic as well. I'm going to give that away, inshallah. So yeah, we've got some cool stuff to give away this week. And yeah, and as I mentioned, for the actual students on the Arabic in 60 Steps program, we've got even more stuff to give away. Yes, we may give away the originals of the Arabic lesson maps for steps 1 to 15. But we'll see about that. I'd like to I'd like to have like a little Arabic competition somehow. Try to use the incentive for something good for the students, because that's like an Arabic in 60 steps memorabilia, that is. Because all the students who have been through the program over the past like 4 years have all seen those lesson maps in the videos. So it's a little bit of Arabic in 60 steps memorabilia. Cool, we have people interested in this. Cool, that's awesome, that's good to see. I'll pick one of you guys at random near the end. Okay, let's stay here for another... Where are we now? So we've been here for 20 minutes. Let's stay for another 15. Okay, in 15 minutes time I'll announce who we're going to give this to, who we're going to send it to. Yeah. Cool. Jayyid. What else you got? Any questions for me? About anything? About learning the Arabic language? About the Arabic in 60 Steps program? Oh, actually, we have 2 new students who I'd like to give a shout out to. 2 new students joined yesterday. So we're going to give them a shout out. Let's go back to our students list. And I'm going to give you a shout out. I'm going to look at your names. I do remember your names, but I want to make sure I pronounce them right. Because I always butcher people's names when they're... Well, I just always do, even if they're completely English names, which I'm used to. So we have Mehmet. Cool. Yeah, we have Mehmet. Congratulations, Mehmet, on getting your place in the Arabic in 60 Steps program. And we also have Brody as well. I hope it's pronounced Brody. Yes, I believe I've actually shipped your workbooks. I believe you're in the UK. Mehmet, I believe you're in Germany, because I've shipped your workbooks. So, yeah, so congratulations, you two, on getting your place in the Arabic in 60 Steps program. A very warm welcome to the program. I've processed your workbook, so they should be with you in the next few days. Very nice. Okay, so brother, please start Prophet's storybooks. Did you enjoy that? Yeah, like I did the whole series of the story of Prophet Hud alayhi salam. I would like to do the series of Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, but you know, to be honest, like with series, I'm even finding this with the series Layla with Dhib, like they don't really YouTube very well. Like it's just better practice on YouTube to have like standalone individual videos rather than like whole series. But you know, so I don't know. Maybe it's like stories of the prophets is something that I would need to put only for members, like people who I know are committed students and stuff, and not really just browsing YouTube. I don't know. That's something I'd think about, because if there were people who were willing to support the YouTube channel for £1.99 a month or whatever, like I would do a whole series. I would do a whole story of Prophet Nuh series if there were people who are willing to do that, because there's things that we need. There's things that we need to invest in, inshallah. But let me have a think about that. But either way, like I'm sure there will be an opportunity to do that. Is there a prophet in particular, Salman, that you would like me to do the story of? Because I have in mind doing the Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. But is there a prophet in particular that you're interested in me doing the story of? Generally, like the story of the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam seems to be like the kind of most accessible language. It's the first one in the story, and then as you go down, like there's some of the stories near the end, obviously like the story of Prophet Nuh alayhi salam and others, the language gets a little bit more advanced, but it is all for children. Like none of it's incredibly sophisticated Arabic. It is all very accessible. So yeah. But if there's a prophet in particular whose story you would like me to do, then let me know and I'll consider it. Yeah, because there were lots of people who enjoyed those, and it's also like, I don't know, in the past I've taught texts and taught stories and stuff, and afterwards I've thought, like, what is the real benefit in that? Like, what's the benefit for the student? But when you're teaching the stories of the prophets, there's so much benefit, isn't there? Like, even you're learning the language, but you're also learning a beneficial story through the language, you know. I just got a buzz, but I don't know if that's on this phone or on my work phone. Right. You know, the problem with some people is that they're idiots. That's the problem with some people. Man, there's such a funny guy, man, on my Somali channel. There's a guy who's commented. Let me check on his YouTube channel. Let me click on him, because you can click on people who comment on YouTube videos and see how many times they've commented on your channel. And like this guy's commented 75 times on my channel. His most recent one, you know, this is clearly a well-researched accusation. This Sam of Somalia is an MI5 agent. Ah, yes, because MI5 agents are well known for amassing YouTube audiences and putting themselves in the public arena. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, he's commented 75 times on my channel. I should ban the guy, really, but okay, cool. Qissatu Yusuf. Very nice. We could do the story of the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. We could do the whole story. That's a nice idea. Let me see how many pages it is. Let's have a little look at how long that particular story is. Should we do some together now? We could do some. We could do a start. We could make a start together now if you wanted. I've actually taught already. I have a mini course called the Best of Stories where we do the first page of it. So maybe we don't need to do the first page, but we can actually start now. I know you guys don't have the text in front of you, but I could just teach it to you as if you did, and I'll make sure that I read everything aloud. And we could make a start on it if you wanted. Yeah, Ahsanul Qasasi, the best of stories. Good. So that first page actually we cover in the program. Good. Yeah, we could do a little bit. Okay, so I am going to keep an eye out for questions actually as well. But let's do a little bit. We can start reading. We can start reading it. Let me hold on just a sec. Salahuddin, assalamu alaikum, sister. I've been going through it with another sister on the Arabic in 60 Steps program, but we're sometimes guessing. So, you mean the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, right? So, do you want me to go through the first page? Right, like if all of you guys haven't done it, I think it may be beneficial for us to do the whole first page together. And there's no harm in it, even if it's, you know, even if you guys are familiar with some of the language. So, okay, very nice. Maybe I'll turn my screen around. I don't know if you can read it the right way on my screen, but I'll try to make it really big. Okay, here we go. And let me bring you in a bit. Start damaging stuff, chucking things around. Okay, let's bring it in. Okay. I don't know how I'm going to read it now. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I will read it. Okay, so what do we have at the beginning? We have ru'ya ajibatun. So, I'd like you to see my face, though, to some degree. Move you back a little bit. I don't know about this, guys. Okay, that might work. Okay, so we have at the beginning ru'ya ajibatun. So a ru'ya, obviously from the verb ra'a, means to see something, right? And a ru'ya is a vision. It doesn't necessarily have to be when you're asleep, right? When we learn about the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, we always kind of are told that it's a dream, right? But a ru'ya is really just a vision. It could be when you're awake. There's a specific word in Arabic for a dream when you're asleep, a hulm. But, so a ru'ya, and what are the benefit we get from just this title? It says ajiba. So if ajiba, ajib, it means it's wondrous. I think is a fairly good translation for it. So ajiba, yeah, a wondrous vision or an amazing vision. What benefit do we get from this though? We learn that the word ru'ya is feminine, right? Because ajiba is used in the feminine, right? Good. Okay, what do we have next? We have kana Yusufu waladan saghiran. Really nice use of kana, obviously. Even in this as well, we have some uses of kana that we're returning to. So, kana, he was Yusufu. Yusuf is the ism of kana. When we use kana, the past tense verb to be, we always have a ism of kana and a khabar of kana. The ism of kana will be marfu', which what that means is it'll have a dhamma on the end. Hence, kana Yusufu. Yusuf was. But then the khabar of kana will be mansub, which means it has fathas on the end. So, kana Yusufu waladan saghiran. He was a saghir walad. A walad means a boy, and saghir means small. Good. What's next? Good. وَكَانَ لَهُ أَحَدَ عَشَرَ أَخًا. Good. وَكَانَ لَهُ. The preposition li means two, but it's used in Arabic to mean four. And we can actually use can in another way. I previously mentioned using can as a way of saying was, as in Yusuf was a small boy. But we can also put kana at the beginning of a sentence. This is kind of its superpower. To just put a sentence in the past tense. If we were to just say, له أحد عشر أخا, that's a fine sentence. He has 11 brothers. له أحد عشر أخا. That's a fine sentence, right? But we can just put كان at the beginning to make it in the past. So, to him were أحد عشر. There were 11. أحد عشر is the number 11. أخا. So when you use numbers between like 11 and 99, the counted noun will be like this. It will have two fathahs on the end and be indefinite. Hence as well, for those of you who are on the Arabic in 60 Steps program, we call the program Al-Arabiyyatu fi sittina khutwatan. We have khutwa in the singular, right, as in one step, but with two fathahs on the end, khutwatan. That's why we have on the end of here, akhan. Akh is one brother, but we have akhan. So he had 11 brothers. جيد. نستمر. We continue. وكان يوسف غلاما جميلا. So I really like how the author has repeated the same kind of structure. كان اسم كان خبر كان. So just like before, we had كان يوسف ولدا صغيرا. On the very next line, we have وكان يوسف غلاما جميلا. So we have that Yusuf was a غلام. غلام is a bit different to a walad. غلام is a bit like he's a young lad. I think lad is a fine translation for ghulam. Yeah, you don't really call children a ghulam. A walad is more of like a comprehensive term for any boy who isn't like a man yet. But a ghulam, in my sense of the word, is a little bit older. It's like he's a young lad. Like he might be 8 years old upwards. Jamilan. So just like in English, in Arabic, jamil, it's not common to use that with men, right? Arabic has other words to mean handsome, like wasim and other words like that. But there are men that you need to make an exception for. You know, like even in English, if you were to say that is a beautiful man, like you're not just saying he's handsome. You know, like you're really saying this man is beautiful, right? It's common. It's often used for girls because women just look nicer than men. They just do, innit? Do you know what I mean? It's more important for them, but good. So Yusuf was a very handsome chap. Okay, colloquially we might translate it like that. وكان يوسف غلاما ذكيا. Good. We have the same structure, so we don't need to go through all of it again. ذكيا, intelligent. ذكي is a word which we encounter in the step 1 of the Arabic in 60 Steps program. He was an intelligent young lad. Very good. Let's continue. وكان أبوه يعقوب يحبه أكثر من جميع إخوته. Very nice. So, وكان أبوه يعقوب, and his father Yaqub. Yaqub, yes, is his father. Yaqub has another name as well, which is Israel. وكان أبوه. So your ab is your father, and the hu on the end means his. So his father Yaqub was. But you know how I mentioned earlier about how kana has kind of a superpower of putting a sentence in the past tense. Just like it did it with the preposition earlier, when we said kana lahu ahada ashara akhan, when we said he had 11 brothers, it can do the same with the verbs. We can say kana yuhibbuhu, he used to love him. Okay, yuhibbuhu, there's a few things going on here. There's a form 4 verb, ahabba, which means to love somebody. For example, I would say ahbabtuhu kathiran, I loved him a lot. The verb ahabba means to love, and yuhibbu is the present tense. It's a form 4 verb, but it's doubled as well, so it sounds a bit different to some other form 4 verbs. Kana yuhibbuhu, he loved him. Akthara, kathir means many, akthar means more. He loved him more. Akthar min. If you're doing comparatives in the Arabic language, you will usually have something in the af'ala pattern, min. So for example, bigger than would have akbar min, smaller, asghar min. If we wanted to have more beautiful than, ajmal min. Right, I'm deliberately using some of the adjectives that we did earlier in the text, right? But here we have akthar min, more than. Jami'i, more than, all of. The jami' is the group, the rest of. Ikhwatihi. So ikhwa is a plural of akh. Na'am, ikhwa, with a ta madbuta on the end, which is why it's ikhwatihi, his brothers, right? Yes, it's a plural. There's another plural, ikhwan. Yes, but both of them are fine. Both of them are perfectly fine plurals of akh. Good. So his father loved him more than the rest of his brothers. Good. ذات ليلة رأى يوسف رؤيا عجيبة. رأى يوسف رؤيا عجيبة. Good, I can't see the case, what they've written, but it should be عجيبة. Good, okay, sorry, I thought it read عجيبة, but I know it should be عجيبة. Good, okay, so ذات ليلة. ذات is much like our word in English, that night, right? But it's just saying sort of one night, right? One night, ذات ليلة. ذات operates like a preposition. It is a harf, it's, it doesn't kind of, it operates like a harf, right? ذات ليلة, or maybe it's kind of just more like an idafa type deal. ذات ليلة, one night. But a Layla is a night. Layla, the name, is spelled differently to that though. The name Layla, those of you who follow along with our story, Layla with dhib, will know that Layla, the name, is spelled with a alif maqsura on the end, but Layla, the nighttime, is spelled with a ta marbuta on the end. Or can actually be spelled without it, as is in the Quran. There's Surah Al-Layl in the Quran. I believe it's the 92nd surah of the Quran. And Layl is used without the ta marbuta. Good. So what happened? Ra'a Yusuf. Yusuf, alayhi salam, he saw. He saw what? رُؤْيَا عَجِيبَةً. He saw a wondrous vision. Is this all okay so far? Give me a thumbs up in the comments if this is all okay so far. Because I can't see any of your comments, so I'm going to go and check them. Okay, good. There are no more criticisms or comments or conversations, so I will assume that we're all good, right? But give me a thumbs up if you're happy with everything. And yeah, if you're happy with everything, you can see everything. If you think this kind of style is useful, then that's really cool. Okay, good to hear it. Good to hear it. All right, we'll continue then, inshallah. Okay, good. So this is where we were, right? رؤيا عجيبة. Let me move down. Okay, so now we can come to the أحد عشر كوكبا. So رأى أحد عشر كوكبا ورأى الشمس والقمر. Very nice. So he saw أحد عشر. Where have we seen that number before? We saw it in the very first line, didn't we? It means the number 11. He saw أحد عشر كوكبا. He saw 11 kawkabs. A kawkab is a planet, the plural of which is kawakib, and it means a planet. In the story, we're always taught that it means stars, and I think there is some difference of opinion among Ahlul Lugha as to whether he is referring to stars, but back then kawkab meant a star, I'm not sure, but by definition the word kawkab, it means something without burning in it, and Arabic has another word for a star, right? A najm is a term for stars, right? Specifically with burning inside of them, but kawkab is what we use for the word for planet. Yeah, when you, like I've seen like kids educational videos about the planets before, and there's Al-Kawakib al-Ghaziyya, the gas planets, for example, right? It's the word that's used for planets. So he saw 11, let's say planets, because we're learning the language, and Kawkab, we mean planet most of the time. So he saw 11 Kawkaban وَرَأَ الشَّمْسَ, and he saw the sun, وَالْقَمَرَ, and the moon. كُلٌّ يَسْجُدُ لَهُ. Kullun is much like the word we saw earlier, jami', meaning all of, but kullun is the best way to translate the word all. If you need to say all of something, use kull in kind of an idafa structure, right? If you say all of the houses, kullul buyuti, all of the people, kullul rijali, like it's used in an idafa type structure. So good. He saw the sun and the moon. A little benefit we can take from this as well is, of course, these are majazi, they are metaphorical, right? When you're talking in literature, the term majazi means metaphorical. The shams and the qamar, the sun and the moon, grammatically in Arabic, they're masculine and feminine, right? But we know in a majazi sense, what it's talking about here is his mum and dad, right? The planets are symbolic of his brothers, and the sun and the moon are his symbolic of his mother and father. And it's also kind of just a gem that we can take from it as well, that Shams is feminine and therefore represents his mother, and Al-Qamar is masculine grammatically and therefore represents his father. That's kind of the opposite of what we kind of expect from our culture. Like, we tend to think of the moon as like a symbol of like womanhood and fertility and stuff, but in Arabic grammar that's not the case. The sun is feminine, although it doesn't have a ta marbuta, and the moon is masculine. Good. Yasjudu, they prostrate. Lahu. Good. يسجد له. So a good question here is, well, we're talking about a group of things, right? Even though they're non-humans, it's kind of a non-human plural, right? We're talking about planets and the sun and the moon, right? So why don't we say tesjudu, right? Why don't we treat them as feminine singular? Or in fact, if we're going to personify them, if these are a metaphor for Yusuf's brothers and his mother and his father, why don't we use the plural? Why don't we say yasjuduna lahu? Well, it's because of the kullun here. In fact, it may even be the reason that the author has included the kullun, right? Because if you were just to say yasjudu kullun lahu, then that's correct. Because kullun is really just a masculine ism on its own, right? Kullun yasjudu lahu, right? The yasjudu is conjugated in a fitting manner to talk about the kullun, right? And that's why. Good. I mean, it makes sense for the author. Yeah, I mean, it will look a bit blurry. Asia, sorry about that. It's just that I wasn't expecting to like present like this. It's just some of the students suggested that we do this, so I'm trying to read it as clearly as I can. And yeah, but yeah, sorry about that. I'll try not to like flick it around too much and things like that. But yeah, or let me hold it closer just so I can read it for you one more time. So we had رأى أحد عشر كوكبا ورأى الشمس والقمر كل يسجد له. So hopefully that's okay. As well, I mean, I'm seeing it in reverse, but I think you guys can read it okay, can't you? Good. Okay, good. We'll continue. تعجب. تعجب. So, the verb تعجب means to be amazed by something. To be amazed. It shares the root letters with the word عجيب that we saw earlier, meaning sort of wondrous or something like that. تعجب يوسف الصغير. يوسف الصغير, this is a phrase, it's not a sentence, it's little Yusuf. Because those two words, if students of mine have revised step 1 well, they will know that Yusuf and as-saghiru, they agree in gender, they're both masculine. They agree in definiteness, they're both definite. Even though Yusuf doesn't have El at the beginning, it doesn't need to. These proper names don't need to. They're definite kind of inherently because they're a name. So they agree in definiteness, they agree in case. Because it's Yusufu and as-saghiru, they're both marfu', right? And they also agree in number because Yusuf is one Yusuf and Saghir is one Saghir. So, تعجب يوسف الصغير. Little Yusuf, he was amazed. كثيرا, he was very amazed. Good. وما فهم هذه الرؤيا. And he did not understand this ru'ya. ما فهم. Good. So the verb فهم is the past tense to he understood. But we say ma to make it negative, right? In the program, in like step 12, we learn another way of using past tense negatives, right? We learn a way of using lam and then making the verb فهم مجزوم. So the way we'd do that, we'd say لم يفهم. لم يفهم. But there's a lot more grammar in that's required than saying ma fahima. It makes sense that the author has chosen this structure for a story that's so early in the text, especially. And also, it doesn't mean it's any less eloquent. Allah uses that structure in the Quran many times. For example, where Allah says, ما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون. He says, ما خلقت. We're not going to say, oh Allah, why didn't you use, when you use lam أخلق, why didn't you use lam with a fi'l majzoom? Like, it's perfectly eloquent and fine to use either structure, right? ما فهم, he did not understand. هذه الرؤيا, he did not understand this vision. كيف, ما معنى كيف? Well, what does كيف mean? It means how. How تسجد الكواكب? How do the كواكب يسجد? How? It should be تسجد, isn't it? Yeah, تسجد. How do the planets prostrate? والشمس والقمر. How do the sun and the moon and the planets prostrate? Because it's sort of a ball, isn't it? Like it doesn't sort of prostrate like sort of we do. Good. How did it prostrate? لرجل, to a man. So he's a rajul now. Earlier we saw him as a walad, and then we heard him described as a ghulam, and now we hear him described as a rajul. Good. ذهب يوسف الصغير إلى أبيه. ذهب is the verb meaning to go. So if fahima meant he understood, ma fahima, he didn't understand, and ذهب means he went. How would we say he didn't go? How do we make it negative? Just like we did with ma fahima. We'll just put ma on the beginning, right? Ma ذهب, he didn't go. Good. ما ذهب, but in this case it's ذهب يوسف الصغير. Little Yusuf, really nice. Okay, we do have a correct answer, mashallah. Good. Okay, so little Yusuf, I mean, I don't know how Yusuf has just said كيف تسجد الكواكب والشمس والقمر لرجل, and then we have ذهب يوسف الصغير. I don't know how we have لرجل to a man, and then we're saying he's little Yusuf. I mean, which one is he? Is he a rajul or is he little Yusuf? I don't mind. He can be either. Maybe he's a small man. I don't know. Okay, anyway, so Yusuf, he went إلى أبيه. He went to his father. Good. Ab is from the Asma al-Khamsa, which are nouns which express their case with a long vowel at the end. So, for example, you'll see sometimes أخي or أخا or أخو. Excuse me. Excuse me, I'm not very well at the moment. Okay, good. So, but then with ab is the same. It will be abi, aba, or abu. But yeah, in this case, because of ila, the preposition before it is ila abihi, to his father. Yaquba, to his father. Yaquba. So, Yaquba, why isn't it Yaqubi? Well, there is agreement here actually. Yaqubi is majroor. But because it's a foreign name, Yaqub is not an Arabic name originally. Because it's a foreign name, it expresses being majroor with a fatha. So it is majroor. It is correct to say that it's majroor, but we would say in i'rab, we would say وعلامة جره الفتحة المقدرة على آخره. We'd say that the symbol of it being majroor is a clear fatha on its end. Good. وحكى له. Haka is a verb meaning to literally tell a story. It's actually been borrowed into modern dialects, especially in like Palestine and Sham area generally, to mean speaking. People say, ما بتحكي عربي, like, don't you speak Arabic? أنا بحكي, I speak. أنا بحكي عربي, I speak Arabic, right? It's actually a verb borrowed from haka, but in standard Arabic it means to tell a story. And he told the story له, and he related the story upon him. Of what? Of هذه الرؤيا العجيبة, of this wondrous story, of this wondrous vision rather. Very nice. What more do we have? And we have قال, and then we have an ayah from the Quran which many of us will be familiar with. We have قال أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أبت إني رأيت أحد عشر كوكبا والشمس والقمر رأيتهم لي ساجدين. Good. He said, قال is the verb he said, like we saw earlier in the lesson. Ya abati. Ya on its own is a harf nida, is a harf, is a article of invocating, maybe when you say ya Allah, ya something. But abati is a term of endearment, is a more kind of soft and loving way of saying ya abi, ya abati, putting a ta on the end is a way of making the term a bit more loving, ya abati. Good. Ya abati, inni ra'aytu. Inni, verily I. Inna means verily or indeed, and the e on the end means I. Inni ra'aytu. I saw, from the verb ra'a. Final weak verbs ending in a alif maqsura, like ra'a. That alif maqsura becomes a ya when you conjugate it like this. Ra'aytu, I saw. أحد عشر كوكبا, I saw 11 planets. We've already kind of done the language of that, so I'll move through it swiftly. والشمس والقمر, and the sun and the moon. رأيتهم, I saw hum. I saw hum. Not رأيتها. Not I saw them in the feminine singular because they're not humans. The Quran, it seems, is deliberately personifying the planets and the sun and the moon. Right? It's laying a seed there that is referring symbolically to humans. Li, to me, sajidin, prostrators. Sajid, you might even know people called Sajid, it's not an uncommon name. But sajidin, it means prostrators. It's not a verb, it's not yasjuduna. Yes, but it's sajidin. I saw them, to me, prostrators. Very nice. So that is the first page. Has that been beneficial? is that the sort of thing that you wanted from me to do a little run through of that first page of the Surah of Yusuf? We can just continue that if you want. We can do that on the channel, inshallah. Yes, but that was a good suggestion from you guys, by the way. You wanting to do that, I think it was beneficial. So yeah, and my eldest son is called Yusuf, and we named him Yusuf. My wife wanted Yusuf. I liked the idea of a name which is symbolic of like strength. I wanted a name like Musa or Omar, after individuals who we know to be kind of stern. I think we have a need for more stern men, and I'm not really like that. I'm not like a stern person in my life, but I admire men who are like that, and I like the idea of using a name that represents strength like that for my first son. But my wife really wanted Yusuf, and I wasn't convinced by Yusuf until the week before Yusuf was born. He was born in Ramadan. I went to a khutbah. I went to pray Jum'ah, and I listened to the khutbah at Regent's Park Masjid here in London, and the Imam delivered a khutbah about the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, about how the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, in his relationship to his brothers, is much like the relationship between the month of Ramadan and the other months, in that at the end of the story of the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, the other brothers kind of need Yusuf for help. Yusuf is kind of higher in rank and they need him. And that's much like our relationship that we have with the month of Ramadan, that our sins and the habits that we accumulate throughout the other 11 months, we need a month that's higher in status than the month of Ramadan. And, and after hearing that, I thought maybe my wife's right. Maybe Yusuf is a good name for a boy born in the month of Ramadan. So I accepted the name Yusuf for him, and I'm glad I did now, because it seems to suit him. He likes that name, and it's given that my family, like the family on my side of our family are non-Muslims and English speaking, it's easy. It's good to have a name that they can pronounce as well. Because I was thinking Omar, Muawiyah, and those aren't very sympathetic names. So yes, Jayyid. Okay. Very nice. Okay. All right, let's do this giveaway. Let me pick randomly in here one of the names, inshallah, for me to give this to. I'm not even. Let's pause it here. Let's pause it here. Okay, good. Yeah, we have, why isn't it a name? Olaz hyphen 098. You have won this. Congratulations. I'll send it to you, inshallah. Send me your address, sam@arabic60steps.com. Congratulations. I'm actually going to put the winner. Winner is... I don't know if I can @ you in here, actually. Cool. Winner is... Ta-da! Congrats. Cool. We've put the winner in the comments section. Cool. Jazakallahu khairan, barakallahu feek. Send me your address, please, to sam@arabic60steps.com, and I'll have that shipped off to you, inshallah. So congratulations. Yeah, and what have we got? I was only planning on staying for a little while, but we ended up doing something beneficial, didn't we? So I think it's good. Let's just make it around an hour. Okay, I'll stay here for another 6 minutes or whatever. And any questions you have, just put them in the comments, and I shall answer them for you. We'll put this safely to a side for you. And yeah, it's really nice, actually. I like the backgrounds that Amina does with these. The backgrounds are really nice. But my wife was thinking of hiring her to just do like the back, even without the calligraphy. They're really nice. And also, it's like, yeah, just the paint's really good quality. It's not cracking or anything. And it's not too thick on there. It's really nice. Yeah, it's just good quality stuff. So enjoy that. I'm going to put that somewhere safe for you. Oh, okay, the story gets harder when we do the King's Dream. Okay, cool. Do you know any Arabic poems to help learn the rules of grammar and sarf? Okay, well, it's not a sarf book, but Al-Ajrumiyya is the cornerstone one for learning Nahu. I will give this text away, actually, tomorrow. Should we do this tomorrow, or should we do another one tomorrow? Yeah, because I'm gonna do a giveaway of all the travel books one day, and I'll tie that in with me doing a live about my experience studying in those countries. We've got a question about the program. Do we get one-to-one WhatsApp access when we sign up to the program? Yes, you do. All students who join the Arabic in 60 Steps program get the WhatsApp number for this phone. So if you were to join now and message me, it would come through to me now, and I will answer your questions. Good. So, what time is the live tomorrow? Let's stick to 5 p.m. inshallah. Today it was 5 p.m. Tomorrow we'll do 5 p.m. as well, and I'll stick around for an hour tops. I'll try not to do it for longer than that. But as you guys are here and you guys are supporting the channel and stuff, what giveaway do you want me to do? Do you want me to do Al-Ajr or Miyya? Do you want me to give this one away tomorrow? Do you want me to give the Middle East travel books away tomorrow? Do you want me to give away Arabic language today? It's more of a linguistics book, this is. Do you want me to give that away tomorrow? Or do you want me to give away Teach Yourself Arabic? Which one would you guys like tomorrow? Because I don't mind. It doesn't make a difference to me. I can give away any of them tomorrow. It's fine by me. We'll either do the Matan of Al-Ajr Miyya, the Matan of Al-Ajr Miyya, Teach Yourself Arabic, the Arabic language today, or we'll do Middle East travel books. Just let me know which one you want me to give away tomorrow, and we shall do that. Yeah. But yeah, Al-Ajr Miyya, actually, when I give that away in our live, I will actually teach maybe the first few stanzas of it. Yeah. That's a good one. Yes, this is actually a Somali publication, I think. It's actually, yeah. But yeah, we will talk about the Matan of Al-Ajr Miyya. Cool. Al-Ajr Miyya, tomorrow 5 p.m. Yes, please. Come and see me tomorrow 5 p.m. Al-Ajr Miyya is popular. It is indeed. Yes. I've known many students to do the Medina books and then move on straight to Al-Ajr Miyya. You know, like the Medina books, the actual contents I think is actually harder than Al-Ajr Miyya. But the thing about Al-Ajr Miyya is it's all in Arabic, and it's actually written for Arabs, unlike the Medina books, which are written for like an international classroom of Tullab al-Ilm. Good. And then also as well, I mentioned it earlier, but I'd like to start a membership for this YouTube channel as well. Yeah, because loads of channels have memberships, and it's a cool way for me to help support the YouTube channel as well as give you guys a little bit more too. So we'll start that. Maybe just a £1.99 a month membership. You'll be a super talib. That's maybe what we'll call it, a super talib. Or I'll let you guys decide actually. If you have a good idea of what we can call members of the YouTube channel, then that'd be cool. But super talib is fine, isn't it? You know, it is what it is. You know what you are if you're a super talib. Cool. What else? Good. Okay, so we will do tomorrow, 5 p.m. once again. Yes, we'll do 5 p.m. Anything else? Anything else you got for me? 2 minutes left. Anything you want to talk about at all? Just let me know. I don't know what we should do the competition on tomorrow as well. Today I just kind of picked randomly one of you from the comments section, but I might try to incentivize something else tomorrow. I don't know. It depends how big the chat is. Maybe I'll just pick someone at random again. Barakallahu feek, Salman. May Allah bless you. What else have we got? 1 minute and 10 seconds left. Anything else you guys want to ask? Anything you want to chat about? I have 1 minute left, 50 seconds left. Or you can come back tomorrow at 5 p.m. and I'll be live here again for another giveaway. Cool. All right. If any of you guys are here and you haven't yet liked the video, please like the video for me. That means the world to me and it helps me in the algorithm and stuff. So thank you so much for all of you guys who have liked. And yes, yep, and enjoyed the video. And if you haven't subscribed as well, please do that. Thank you so much. Who helped me get to 20,000 subscribers. That was a huge milestone for me. So thank you very much. Oh, metaphorical again. Majazi. Term is majazi. Yes. Yeah. Maybe, I think actually I have a podcast episode where I talk about poetry, generally in Arabic, and that poetry analysis, and I talk about the words for like a metaphor, a simile, and personification and things like that. I think anyway, but if not, we can do a recap of that tomorrow maybe. Majazi is something metaphorical. Good. Okay, you guys have an amazing evening if you guys are in the UK. Thank you so much for sharing some of your evening with me. It means the world to me. And see you guys tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.